Tantrums are one of the most common, yet most challenging behaviors parents face. Whether it's in a grocery store, at home, or in public, tantrums can leave parents feeling helpless, frustrated, and often embarrassed. But imagine for a moment a world where you could handle those tantrums with calm, without raising your voice, without punishment, and still resolve the situation in under 90 seconds. Sounds impossible, right? Well, in Sweden, parents have been using a technique for years that can calm a tantrum in 90 seconds or less. And it works. This technique has been developed based on child psychology and is designed to help both parents and children manage their emotions in a more peaceful way. It's not about punishment, but rather about setting boundaries while maintaining emotional control. And in today's video, we're going to dive into this Swedish method that can help you turn tantrum moments into calm, teachable ones. Imagine this. Your child is in the middle of a meltdown. They want something they can't have, and they're expressing their frustration with tears, screaming, and maybe even hitting. As a parent, you know how easy it is to get caught up in the chaos and react impulsively. But what if there was a way to respond that didn't escalate the situation, didn't involve yelling, and actually brought about a positive change? The Swedish technique offers just that. It's simple, effective, and it can be implemented in just a few moments. We're going to walk you through how it works, why it's so effective, and how you can start using it in your home right away. But first, let's understand the psychology behind tantrums and why traditional methods of dealing with them often don't work. Understanding tantrums is key to knowing how to deal with them. Children, especially toddlers and young kids, have not yet developed the emotional regulation skills to manage their frustration. They may not know how to express their feelings in words, so they resort to physical outbursts. This can be especially difficult when they don't get what they want, when they're tired, hungry, or overstimulated. That's why many parents react instinctively by either giving in to the child's demands or worse, raising their voices, which often leads to more crying and emotional escalation. But this technique teaches parents how to break that cycle, staying calm and in control, while also helping the child to understand that their feelings are valid but need to be managed appropriately. So, what exactly is the Swedish technique? And how does it differ from the traditional methods of dealing with tantrums? At its core, this approach is all about setting boundaries and helping the child understand their emotions, but without the use of shouting, threats, or punishment. It's a technique that is rooted in empathy and emotional regulation. The Swedish technique is based on a principle known as calm control. It involves the parent staying calm, composed, and firm in their actions, while also providing space for the child to process their emotions. The key idea here is that you do not give in to the child's demands, but you also don't escalate the situation with anger or frustration. Instead, you provide a brief pause in the situation, a time to reset, both for you and for your child. Let's take a look at an example. Imagine your child is having a tantrum because they're not allowed to have a candy bar at the store. They begin to cry loudly, throw themselves on the floor, and refuse to listen to any reasoning. In a typical situation, you might raise your voice or try to physically move them out of the store. But instead, with the Swedish technique, you would calmly kneel down to their level, maintain eye contact, and say in a calm but firm voice, "I understand that you're upset, but we need to calm down and stop this behavior. This approach does not involve immediate punishment, but instead gives the child a brief moment to process what's happening. By staying calm, you're demonstrating emotional control, which is something children learn by example. You're not ignoring their feelings. Instead, you're teaching them that frustration can be managed and that it's okay to feel upset, but it's important to act calmly and respectfully. The technique itself is simple. When a tantrum occurs, you take a step back, lower yourself to the child's eye level, and firmly but gently explain the need to stop the disruptive behavior. You don't engage in an argument or try to negotiate at that moment. You allow the child to experience their emotions, but encourage them to take a pause and reset. It's about providing structure in the chaos, offering the child a safe space to calm down while also guiding them toward better emotional regulation. Now, you might be wondering how this simple technique could possibly work. It's understandable to be skeptical. After all, how can a 90-second pause really make a difference in the middle of a full-blown meltdown? The answer lies in the power of emotional control. Children, especially young ones, are still learning how to process their feelings. They often lack the skills to pause, reflect, and reset their emotions. When parents model calmness and provide clear boundaries, they are teaching the child these skills in real time. This is why the technique is so effective. It's a tool for teaching emotional intelligence in a way that doesn't overwhelm or escalate the situation. Now that we have an understanding of what the Swedish technique is, let's break it down into practical steps. How can you implement this in your daily life? And what does the process look like when applied to real-life tantrums? 1. Create a calm environment. The first step in using the Swedish technique is to create a calm environment. This means removing distractions and ensuring that both you and your child have space to breathe. In a busy environment like a grocery store, this might mean stepping to the side and moving away from the crowd. At home, it might mean going to a quiet room. The idea is to create a space where the focus is on the child's emotional state, without external distractions that can increase tension. 2. Get on the child's level. Instead of towering over your child when they're upset, crouch down to their level. This helps make eye contact and makes the situation feel less confrontational. This is particularly important with younger children who may feel overwhelmed when adults are physically towering over them. Getting on their level signals to them that you're engaging with them on their terms, not just issuing commands from above. 3. Speak calmly and firmly. Using a calm but firm tone of voice is essential when applying the Swedish technique. This is not the time to raise your voice or sound frustrated. Instead, speak with a soft, steady voice and explain what is happening. For example, you might say, "I know you're upset, but we need to stop this behavior now." The key is not to make the child feel invalidated, but to show them that their feelings are understood and acknowledged while still setting the limit. 4. Give the child a moment to pause. The essence of the Swedish technique is to give the child a brief 90-second pause to process their emotions. This pause does not mean ignoring the child's feelings, it simply allows them time to reset. During this pause, parents are encouraged to remain calm, allowing the child to reflect and regulate their emotions. In some cases, parents might gently guide the child's breathing to help them calm down. For example, you can guide them to take a deep breath together. Let's breathe in slowly and out. Number 5, reaffirm your support. After the brief pause, it's essential to reconnect with the child and reaffirm your support. This can be done with a reassuring touch, a hug, or by simply acknowledging the child's feelings in a calm, loving way. For example, you might say, "I'm here for you, and I understand that you were upset. It's okay to feel angry, but we need to find ways to deal with it calmly." This process helps children learn emotional regulation by providing them with the space to calm down, while also teaching them the importance of setting boundaries. It's a method that respects the child's feelings, but also teaches them that they are responsible for their actions and emotions. So, why is it so important to stay calm during a tantrum? And how does this benefit both parents and children in the long run? The answer lies in the psychological benefits of emotional regulation. When parents stay calm during a tantrum, they provide an emotional anchor for their children. By showing that they can handle the situation without losing their temper, parents model emotional control, which is a valuable lesson for children. Instead of reinforcing negative emotions like anger or frustration, the child learns to reflect on their own feelings and regulate them. This creates a safer emotional environment where the child is encouraged to manage their emotions constructively. Furthermore, when parents respond to tantrums with calmness, they help reduce their own stress. Tantrums are stressful for both the parent and the child, but when parents remain composed, it prevents the situation from escalating and keeps the environment peaceful. This allows the parent to remain in control without feeling overwhelmed or frustrated. Additionally, children who grow up with parents who use calm techniques to manage their emotions are more likely to develop strong emotional intelligence. They learn how to identify their emotions, understand why they feel the way they do, and learn strategies for managing their emotions without resorting to aggression or tantrums. This is an essential skill that will benefit them throughout their lives. By using the Swedish technique, parents are not only managing the immediate situation, but they are also teaching their children valuable skills that will last a lifetime. While the Swedish technique is effective, it's not always easy to implement, especially in the heat of the moment. There will be times when your child is particularly upset, when you feel the pressure mounting, and when you wonder if it will really work. But the key to success with this technique is consistency. Staying calm, applying the method even when it's hard, and giving it time to work. It's natural to feel frustrated when dealing with tantrums. As parents, we are human, and we also have our emotional limits. But the Swedish technique isn't about perfection. It's about progress. When you apply the method consistently, even if it doesn't work perfectly every time, your child will begin to learn that their behavior has clear boundaries, and they will start to internalize that calmness is the way to handle frustration. While the Swedish technique can be incredibly effective in the moment, the real value of this method comes in its long-term benefits. Using this technique consistently helps not only resolve tantrums, but also teach emotional intelligence and self-regulation to your child. These skills are invaluable as they grow, helping them navigate life's challenges with greater resilience and emotional maturity. In conclusion, the Swedish technique is not just about managing tantrums. It's about creating a healthier, more emotionally intelligent home environment, where both parents and children can learn to regulate their emotions, set boundaries, and approach difficult situations with calm and empathy. This method offers a positive alternative to traditional disciplinary approaches and has been proven to help both parents and children thrive emotionally. Remember, the Swedish technique isn't about perfection. It's about progress. It's about learning, growing, and adapting as a parent and as a family. By embracing this technique, you're setting yourself and your child up for a future of emotional health, understanding, and mutual respect. So, the next time your child has a tantrum, take a deep breath, remember the Swedish technique, and approach the situation with calm and confidence. Over time, this simple technique can help transform your family's emotional landscape, making your home a more peaceful and loving environment.